Kingshill School is an exceptional place. It offers a space for students here in the Virgin Islands, especially on the island of St. Croix, to come and learn at the rate and in the style and in the capacity that they basically were born with.
It was always told disability this, disability that, and so that is what created my my lack of self-confidence.
I had the idea for the school years ago when I realized there were not enough support services on the island for some students. And these students were not successful in the schools that they were in. So I began working with students in order to help them learn the techniques or the skills or fill in the gaps that they had.
The Kingshill School is a school that affords kids the opportunity to learn at their own pace in an individualized setting. We have small classes, between 4 and 5 average per class.
One of the philosophies of the Kingshill School is to try and help students, if they are able to and want to re-enter mainstream education rather than the very specialized, so it helps them to become functional again.
For those that we can rescue, those who do come here, we can make a huge difference in their lives. I've heard parents say, "You saved my child's life."
My son was struggling in his 7th grade, and we pulled him out in the middle of the school year because he lacked confidence. He looked like he was worn out from the stress, and we basically came and asked to see if they had space for him at the school.
I never thought that I could find a school like this on St. Croix. After 8 months of looking for a school, I was told about this school.
Our eldest son has attention deficit disorder and dyslexia, which the private schools in St. Croix were not able to meet or willing to meet those needs.
I never imagined that miracles were happening right in my backyard. I moved away 30 years ago as a young woman and stayed away and came back home 8 months ago with my autistic son on a prayer that we'll be okay with family around us, and never knew that miracles were happening right here on St. Croix at the Kingshill School.
They help the children build their independence and their self-esteem, and I think the teachers are wonderful for that. They really give their all when they're teaching. And each child realizes that, and they give what each child needs. And that's what I really liked, and they really gave a lot to my daughter.
He went back to the private school that we had pulled him out in the 7th grade. He went back to complete his last 4 years of high school there, and is now a freshman at the United States Air Force Academy.
In 1 week, my son wakes up and says that he wants to come to school. He is so happy now. I am happy.
Here at Kingshill School, he not only got his self-confidence back, but went on to be able to independently study and flourish, and now he is successful in his small business area in Northern Virginia.
Our reward is that we can work with a student for a year or 2 or even help him to graduate, and then he goes on or she goes on and is successful in the career that they hope to enter, whether it's finishing a technical school or a college.
I'm so proud to see some of these students that when they first come here, they're so shy, so quiet, they're so afraid to speak out because they haven't been able to express themselves in a normal classroom. When they come here after a year, after 3 years if they're here for longer, they are standing up, giving presentations. They're proud of themselves, they're self-confident, their self-esteem has gone up.
When parents come to us with a child that they can absolutely find no school on island that works or that fits, you know, for us to be able to take that student and work with that student, that's our life.
4 students who in 2007 started higher education. They had 4 things in common. 1, they're from St. Croix. 2, they were learning disabled. 3, they'd had contact with the Kingshill School. And 4, they entered U.S. service academies. 2 to the Air Force Academy, 1 to West Point, and 1 to Coast Guard. That's with a school of 30 students.
There are kids who could probably benefit now that cannot because of economics, because they don't have the money to come here.
Everybody should have a place where they could go to learn and get help what they really need. It's like you can't get this everywhere else.
There's a high incidence of poverty here, and so we really want to provide a way for those children who do have special needs, who may not do well in the private school settings or public school settings, to come to Kingshill. And they can't do it without the support of the various donors that we're hoping to identify.
I was privileged enough to be able to afford to give my child this kind of education. And there are so many parents out there that really want the best for their kids, and they see their kids falling through the cracks, and they can't afford it. And they're seeing their kids get into problems, and it's killing them. And you know, just for a few dollars, we can change lives.
Basically, it just helped me to build my confidence and make me a better student overall. Because when I left here and I transferred, I ended up doing a lot better.
It's important for a facility like this to keep going so that other people in the community could benefit from this kind of environment.
If every child with a learning disability had their own Kingshill school, I think that would be wonderful.